And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interlude Media, spelled out right, NTRLD_media. I'm your host, Nick DeSantis. You might know me as Nicky Nicknames, and I'm joined by my co-host, holding it down on the ones and twos. That is Todd Roshong, but you might know him as T-Row Price because he understands that return on your investment. And this right here is the Interlude Pod. The Idea to an Idea, a podcast where two corporate Americans are chopping up regarding the latest news that you didn't know you needed to know with the hopes of teaching you something and us how to run a podcast. And of course, I'd be remiss if I don't mention, ladies and gentlemen, that each one of these episodes is mixed, mastered, edited, and produced by none other than One Time Productions. So welcome in episode 2. T, take it away with the agenda, my man.
Dog, we are so happy to be back. We had a couple technical issues. We had some vacations come up, but we are here running it. This week, we got a good one. We're going to bring back some new segments, some old segments. We're going to kick things off with the Navidius Wilburn. For those who know, that means we're talking about the future. Okay. Then we go to everyone's all-time favorite WD-40 section. What's grinding your gears this week, Mr. Nick? We're going to have to find that one out. Then we're going to jump into a little This Just Interlude section, talk about what's going on in the world. We're going to move it over to a new segment, what we're calling Spins, Flips, and Streams. You know, what are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you streaming right now? What's keeping you entertained in the downtime? And of course, the way we end every episode, Nick's going to take us away with some inspiration. So, Nick, why don't we jump right in?
Don't even worry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and you already heard it here first. This is the future section, otherwise known as Navidius Wilburn, because you already know who that is. This is a big day, and y'all might be wondering, hey, man, you're on a little podcast that you're doing for fun. Why are you in a collar shirt right here? And let me say one thing. This ain't a color shirt. This is a powder blue because your boy got a new job. Hey.
Congratulations, Mr. Nick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. But you know, it was day one today, so I had to come in stepping. I had to wear the powder blues. Look, if you're a football team and you didn't wear your powder blues in week 1, you're done. You feel me? It's the way it goes. So I had to start off right, you know.
Absolutely. That is huge news. Great way to kick off the week. Great way to kick off the episode. Exciting stuff up on the horizon coming for you. You know, we got this podcast going because work was sometimes putting a little bit of a downer on us. Now this podcast is just for fun because we know that work will be there. We talked about this already, and we're just going to kick it, you know?
That's how it goes, folks. And I think we wanted to mention that too. Obviously, you're learning as you go, changing the structure, more of something that, hey, this podcast will just be chopping it up and we'll go from there. If you enjoy it, great. If you don't, we'll see you later. You know what I mean? That's kind of the vibe. I'm coming through, and hey, I got a little promo. I'm at a new job, new position. I'm not complaining much, but one thing, folks, that I'm gonna complain about right here, and I'm not even at the WD-40 section yet, but this is a predicament of mine. You see, I am what they call sometimes a corporate hustler. You know. Meaning that I take things from the office and bring them for personal use into my abode. Meaning that I have all my tea bags taken from the office, yada yada. You feel me? A thing I always did was take around 10 to 15 bagels on the Thursdays that they brought in bagels to the office, so that I had breakfast in the morning. Now I'm trying to eat. And I just kind of think that it's necessary for me to eat. They were going to throw the bagels away anyways, so I'm taking zeros. My last day, I ran out of there with probably 30 to 40 bagels. That not an exaggeration.
No,
I can find the photo. We can post that up. Yeah.
I saw the supply this past weekend when we were chilling. You got some zeros in that freezer for sure.
Yes, I stay connected. My only worry is I love calling bagels zeros, so I thank you for reminding me. But I'm worried about getting to zero because is my new job going to have bagels on deck? Am I going to be able to slide those out as easy? I don't know, man. It's a genuine concern of mine.
I understand what you're saying. You know, every office environment, every culture is a little bit different. You know, for me, everyone wants to maximize that compensation package, right? For me, it comes in the form of granola bars. Okay. We are taking those left and right. So yeah, you know, you kicking off this new job, you got to get acclimated to the office culture, see what everybody's hyped about when you get there. Sometimes I've seen places that do, ice cream Fridays type of thing. You get to take ice cream home. Maybe, it's not zeros, but it could be something that's worth pursuing. So
This is the other thing that I didn't know how to handle during the interview process, right? Like, can I ask, like, hey, do you guys have free bagels that I might be able to stuff in my backpack and run on the subway with? Like, how do you acquire that question, and how
yeah,
do you
yeah,
get that
yeah.
answer in the right format? You know?
Yeah, I think that's more, it's an interesting one. You can ask about, maybe extracurriculars that the company offers. That's more of an HR kind of question and see if they bring stuff like that. But, that's in the past. Interviews are done. You got the offer. You locked it down.
Yeah.
So now
But
it's
that's
just,
my worry is that that's one of my biggest concerns going to a new job. Everyone's wondering, oh, are you worried about the culture? Are you worried about that? About the culture? They just hired the culture. I'm worried about the bagels. Okay, I I need some bagels, and if I don't have a bagel, then the culture might be screwed. So that's how it goes. But that's okay. We're out here. You know what I mean? And very well be next week. That won't be the Navy. It won't be the Navadius Wilburn section. That'll be in the present. So
that's right. That's right.
that's how it
Well, as
goes.
I said, congratulations to you, sir. Much deserved. You
Yeah,
put in
thank
the
you, man.
work. This is exciting times. Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, year and a half plus, folks, of job applications. So before you get down on yourself, just know you got to keep going. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's it. And take as many bagels as you can. That's my last statement. Or not even
Along the
bagels,
way.
man. Snacks, whatever it is.
Yep.
Get whatever you can, and let's get out of there. But this is a good segment. You know, when we're switching gears per se.
Mm.
Sometimes those gears don't switch smoothly, Todd, and that's why I need WD-40. And right off the bat, I think folks, you might have realized what's going on. We started going on a podcast. I don't think we've recorded or released a new episode in more than a month. That's not usually how you want to start off a podcast. So WD-40, we got a few reasons for why that's the case, but T,
Mm-hmm.
you want to take them away?
Yeah, yeah. So like you said there, we got off to a hot start with interlude as an idea, right? We were grinding away. We were trying to come up with how do we record this thing. We tried FaceTime. We talked
Right.
about that on our last episode. That didn't work. We were pursuing other options. We
Nope.
landed on Riverside. Riverside
Right.
overall is doing everything that we needed it to do. But
Yes. Yes.
I live, you live in New York City. I live in the greater New York City metropolitan area. Okay. This is a very highly populated area, very technologically
Yes.
advanced. We have
Right.
everything that we could possibly need. And yet I've got supposed 5G Wi Fi that just refuses
Okay.
to connect sometimes. So
Well,
some of
can
our.
you explain that to me? If you are Verizon, all
Mhm.
right,
Yeah, we can
well,
call out some names here. I specifically have
I don't give a
Verizon
shit.
5G
Verizon,
home
wake
internet.
up, okay? Wake up. What I don't understand is this is the biggest market in the country. The country.
No doubt.
Folks, I didn't move from Seattle, Washington, you know what I mean,
No,
to be outside of that. I'm just saying that you move here because it's a big market, big opportunity. Point being, how is Verizon Mobile not ready for that?
I
How?
really wish that I could explain it. I mean, I understand a little bit about networks and the fact that this is an old walk-up brick building type of thing. But my router,
Okay.
I swear,
Okay. Give me a breakdown on networks, Todd.
I am looking at my router. It is full-blown
Yep.
facing out the window right now. It is on a
Okay.
windowsill. There is nothing but a screen between it and the fresh air. And mind you, it is a beautiful early September night here in Connecticut.
Hmm.
Absolutely lovely weather. But I just
Shout out the
can't
weather
seem
real
to
quick.
I just can't seem to explain why I have Wi-Fi issues. Um, you know, maybe it's because I need to upgrade my plan. Maybe my router's old. I don't really have the answer.
Ah,
I'm
I'm done with this, man. Why do we have to create everything as a have and have nots? Why is there different levels of Wi-Fi? Bro, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I feel like the Wi-Fi should be like a healthcare situation. I'm not even trying to get political, but everybody should have access.
Obviously,
I mean,
there
come
are a
on.
lot of companies out there that are trying to do
Come on.
just that. I mean, Verizon claims that they've got like 99% coverage across the country, but I don't really know how true
Yeah,
that
but we
is.
don't.
I
We
mean, maybe
don't.
they got 95% coverage of 3G, but that was like 10 years ago technology. Like, we got
Oh,
to get up to
but
speed
also,
here.
another timeout. 95% of the country, yo, can we look up a stat of how where the United States, how much of it is inhabited? Okay, I
Inhabited?
guarantee you it's not 95%.
Well, sure. Just look at
I bet
Alaska.
it's not even 50% of the state is not inhabited. Of the
What?
sorry, most states, but of the country is not inhabited. So why would I care that I get coverage 95%? I'm not going to half of that. So maybe you should put the coverage where the coverage is needed. Okay, that's like you're telling me that we got you know some good cornerbacks with the middle of the field. We got all that, but it's not going to work.
Hmm.
What? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't even
I know
make
what you're
sense,
saying.
bro.
I know what you're saying, and I just wish that I had an answer. I can't seem to find a quick answer to the questions that we're
Why
asking here.
why is there only one option for me? All I can get is Verizon. I can't get anything else in this building. Doesn't that feel like a monopoly? And I'm not even pass and go, bro. What the hell? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
seriously, you're not even collecting $200 on that.
That's it. I gotta pay them $200. They're collecting
Crazy.
$200 from me.
I know. I don't know, man.
That's tough. I don't know how we're gonna solve that problem. I don't, like where the
Ultimately,
WD-40 comes into play, but it's up.
ultimately, it has inhibited our recording capabilities in the past.
Yes.
Fortunately, we got to knock on wood whatever way we can. Hopefully things just get better over time. That comes with us getting better with using the technology, and
Yes.
hopefully that means Verizon gets better at providing with both of us with internet in the greater New York City area.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we kind of left the moral of the story at the table here, folks. We've had problems recording, audio being captured, videos being choppy. We don't really know what's good. Um, Currently, I'm recording on my phone right now just to try to mix things up because it seems like the phone works a little bit better than the laptop. That's part of the game. That's part of the learning curve. Uh, yeah, maybe Wi-Fi would fix that. I have no idea. Hopefully, maybe one week I'll be on there, one week I won't. I don't know. That's the way it goes. But we're out here. We're out here. You know what I mean? We have solutions. We're a solutions-based company. So we get it and we move on. You know?
We're solutions
That's how it
oriented
goes.
people. That's right. That's what
That's
it's all
that's how
about.
it goes. Shout out Dash Vatwani, solutions-based company, man. That's how
Hmm.
it goes. All right. I think this might be time for a new segment, ladies and gentlemen. I think you might be excited for this. We're gonna be talking about some current events coming up. The stuff that's been happening, all of
Hmm.
that. And to me, you know what I like to call it? I like to call it the Timberlake section. Because it's just in. You feel me? So this is how it's
Hmm.
gonna go down. T is gonna read off some of these current events, and we're just gonna chop it up real quick. So Todd, take it away. What do we got coming on? What's good?
First one. I think we should touch on the fact that the Space Force Command Center is officially
Yes.
relocating from Colorado Springs,
Yep.
Colorado, down to Huntsville, Alabama.
Yep. I got a lot to say about this. Most people, let me cut to the chase. I have nothing to do with the Space Force, and this is not political at all. Point being, I just have a connection to both of these cities. One, I was born in Colorado Springs. Okay, so shout out Colorado Springs. I know it's more of a military town. We got the Space Force. It is what it is. I was born out that. Second, Huntsville, Alabama is also known as Rocket City due to its space connection, right?
Yep.
So to me, okay, makes logical sense that you would move to Rocket City if it's a space command center. I got one problem. I got one
What's
problem.
that?
So we're gonna go to Alabama, okay?
Hmm.
We're gonna go to Alabama, and we're gonna support a town called Huntsville, whose
Hmm.
minor league baseball team is the Rocket City Trash Pandas. We're gonna support that organization. When there's a team down south in the capital of the state
Where is
known as the
that?
Montgomery Biscuits. And if you
Uh
didn't
huh.
know, then you better learn because that's 10 years in a row making the playoffs. Okay,
Mm,
this is
mm.
Montgomery Biscuits territory. You step into Alabama, we ain't talking about no trash pandas. This is
No,
biscuit country. You're gonna see us rise, and we're gonna come in and wipe you out. So I
that's
don't
how it
give a
goes.
shit. Why are we leaving Colorado Springs to go to some broke ass program up north? And I just need some respect on the name. Okay, so can someone just give a shout out? Okay, we'll move it to Huntsville, but we're moving it to Huntsville, Alabama, and Alabama is the home state of the Montgomery Biscuits. Just give me a shout out in the paper, man. Come
That's
on now,
all it takes.
come
That's
on
all
now.
it takes. There are very few
That's it.
programs out there that have had the consistent success of the Montgomery Biscuits. You know,
Consistency. Name me a better dynasty. 10 years
sir,
in a row playoff.
it is, like I said, it's unprecedented. And for a New York Mets fan like yourself to be supporting the Tampa Bay Rays franchise, that means something, okay? And it's because the Biscuits are something special, okay? I'll tell you,
Very special, bro.
before I even had my first biscuits experience with you, okay? My first biscuits experience of my life. I'm down in West Virginia. I'm helping to rebuild
Oh,
houses for some impoverished families, on a mission trip, trying to take care of the community. That's what we're all about.
sure, got her.
Okay. And quite possibly the greatest meal that I have ever had in my entire life was some real, true Appalachia home cooked biscuits and gravy. And I learned right there in that moment, biscuits are just they deserve all the credit in the world. So I'm with you here. Space Force
Respect.
wants to go ahead and move to Rocket City. Okay, sure, I get that. But you gotta acknowledge the biscuits.
You just have to, man. You have to. It's one of the best creations man's ever made.
I'm with you. They have quite possibly
I
some of
just don't get it.
the best alternate logos too. When they bring the bacon out with the biscuits, man, it's something different.
Some of y'all might not even know what we're talking about. This is a double A minor league baseball team known as the Montgomery Biscuits, which of course I've been a fan of since my adolescent years.
Hmm.
Woodinville, Washington, mind you, but that's besides the point. Biscuits need more respect. That's my
Hmm.
hot take. And that's how I look at the news. I read that news clip and I was like, man, I don't understand why Montgomery's not being talked about. But
Hmm.
besides the point. All right, what else? What else is just in, Todd? What else we
Yeah,
got?
yeah, yeah. Some other breaking ish news here. I'm curious to hear your take. It's a more somber subject overall. So, fashion legend Giorgio Armani has passed away, and
Dude,
there's a lot of
yeah.
people. Armani's a big name, so I'm curious to get your gut reaction here.
First off, I think maybe a quick 5 seconds. Respect to my man's. Thank you, folks. A little moment of
Hmm.
silence. It's true. Shout out to Giorgio Armani, his family. We're thinking of you. This and that. One thing I have to say to this is I knew that he was a fashion icon. Um, Seen him around, heard the name.
Hmm.
Pretty big time guy, big time
Nine
name, I
point
should say, big time brand,
yeah
right?
$9.5 billion big is how big we're talking.
Company. Okay, damn. All right, didn't even realize that. That's that. Second of all, I didn't realize that a lot of these designers that
Hmm.
they're named after are actually were actually relevant people. Man, I thought Giorgio Armani was like in the time of Medici, bro. Like I thought he was like founding Florence or some shit. Okay, I didn't realize that he was actually like alive. I'm
No.
not gonna say. I thought the company was named after him because maybe he was like a saint or something like that. And granted, this is my motherland, folks. I get it. So let me talk on the Armanis real quick. But like, doesn't that sound like this could have been some sort of medieval town? They had the gate around Armani and they were fighting them off, and then like Giorgio pops up and is like, "Wait a minute, what if we put this on the this lapel upon the apparel?" And then like everyone's like, "Damn, my boy's got it like that." Like I kind of thought that's what Giorgio Armani was, and they were paying homage to him with the name of the company. Didn't know he was
No,
alive. That
like
really shocked me when I saw the news that he died. Because I was like, wow, I really thought this guy like was alive in like the 1400s. Like I didn't even know I thought he didn't know what America was. Okay, like I thought he was before Columbus. I won't lie. So
no, no, no,
that
no.
that was that blew my mind. They really did.
Yeah. I mean, so yes, absolutely. Paying our condolences to the family. 91 years old is also a hell of an impressive life. To still be the CEO of
Right.
an absolute international fashion icon
Hey, man, he
company
was
like that,
CEO at
still to
91.
the day of his death, he was the CEO, never stepped down. So, he never had any children, so I'm sure the company is going to be left in some other way. I'm sure it'll be,
Oh,
entrusted into good
married to the
hands.
game. I didn't know
Absolutely. I
Giorgio
mean,
was married to the game like that.
absolutely. I mean,
That's why we
everything that
didn't
he
know who he
did.
was, man. He didn't do anything to cause any public appearance like that. Well, like he couldn't cheat on his wife. He never had one. Like you can't cheat
Well,
on the game in
that's true.
theory.
In theory you can't, and it's a good thing that we don't want the world's most influential people cheating on their wives or their husbands. We want
No,
good
but
people
that's how
in the
you hear
limelight.
about it.
I get what you're saying, but I'm glad that at least in this moment we get to focus on a very, very powerful, influential individual, someone who lived a great life, one who, in fact, was alive
Yeah.
in the 1900s and the 2000s, was not alive in the 1400s.
No.
Um,
Yeah, but doesn't Giorgio Armani just sound like someone who was like in Venice just trying to get around the Horn of Africa? Like it just does, dude. That
but
name
yeah,
screams like Leif Erikson or shit.
I mean, I think this is a learning
I don't know.
experience for you that I would argue, and I'm not the most versed in this subject specifically, but I would argue that most of the fashion brand names that you hear of today are named after people post-industrial revolution. We are talking at least the late
Yeah.
1800s throughout the 1900s. That is where most of these
But
companies were
Is
founded.
Versace alive? Is
So
Gucci alive?
Gianni Versace was murdered. That happened when was he murdered? That was back in like the 90s. He got killed outside of his Miami home, I believe. But he again was
Okay.
alive in the 90s. Um, Gucci's a good question. Let's find
They
that
made
one
that
out
movie
real.
about it though, so it had to be. Remember, Lady Gaga was starring in it, so
Mm-hmm,
that had to
mm-hmm.
be somewhat relevant. Okay,
Gucci,
yeah, I guess I'm off, man.
1881 to 1953. So I told you, it's all
Okay,
after
that
the
one's a little older.
industrial.
That one's a little older though.
Okay, yeah, but we're
All right.
like I
Yeah,
said,
man,
it's
I was way
post-industrial
off.
revolution.
No,
But
I
that's
was
all
way
right.
off. I understand.
That's all right. At the end of the day, like I said, paying homage to a very, very respectful individual.
Yeah,
Condolences to the
I'm learning a
family, to the
lot.
fashion industry.
It's true. Shout out Giorgio Armani, man. I didn't realize all about that. And
Mm-hmm.
man, I used a deodorant of his once. Nice. So,
It's good stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a quality brand. It's
yeah,
luxury for a reason.
it's
All
kind of
right.
like the Rick Ross of deodorants. Peace, Giorgio.
R.I.P. Indeed. Well,
Speaking then, Rick Ross
mm-hmm.
leads great to our next segment.
I would have to agree.
New. This is new, folks, but I think it's here to stay. This is called spins, flips, and streams. And
Mm.
if you're putting the puzzle pieces together, you're already gonna understand that spins. That's the record player, man. What do we got rolling? What are we listening to? Flips. Oh, your page turning right there. Okay, what are you
Mm-hmm.
reading? And streams. Hey, what are you straining your Verizon Wi-Fi for? Okay, what are we watching
Ah,
right now? What do we got going on? So that's how we're getting into it. First and foremost, some of y'all might know, some of y'all might not. Me, I got a little bit of a record collection.
just a
Just
little
a little
bit.
something, just a little something. And I think maybe what I'm gonna do is each week I'm gonna showcase my latest haul that I grab. I'm almost averaging one a week at this point. So my latest haul. What do we got going on? What's popping? So I can start it off great right here, folks. I got a few. We've been gone for a while, so I'm bringing in my Seattle haul and some of
Mm.
the latest right here. So
Mm-hmm.
right in order. You feel me? Let me break it down for y'all.
Yeah, kick
Hey,
us off.
this segment, folks, comes with a visualization. So shout out the visuals, man. Hopefully Riverside connects it right here. We got a classic. We got a West Coast classic. Some
Oh,
of y'all might be concerned that I didn't have this one already. This right here, Tupac, All Eyes on Me. This is that record, double album.
so
That's the reason
smooth.
I didn't have it, folks. Double album, very expensive, but I got this joint used, 40 units. straight out of Stranded in New York City. So I had to give it credit. I got this yesterday, so this one made the cut. I just had to showcase it because I was feeling myself when I found it, and I think it's funnier to start with that and then go into this next record right here, the deluxe version of that new Ariana Grande. Sometimes, folks, it's a his and her situation. Okay, you got you got to get something that your girl wants to spin. This right
Oh,
here,
absolutely.
this right here is that. It's smooth though, and I love this cover by the way. I mean, I don't. It's given
Oh, I
like
mean, it's so
The
clean.
Conjuring, but it's
Yeah, a little
fresh
bit,
though.
a little bit.
You
I'm
know,
a big
kind
fan
of
of the
is.
cover. I hear you absolutely. It's, maybe not
Yeah.
what someone would expect to be as a part of your collection. And I'm excited that we're going to get the
No.
chance to dive deeper into it. But, at the same time,
Translucent.
uh-huh, that's right.
Yep. The translucent vinyl right there. Sick color wave. Speaking of sick color wave, check this out right here. This now we're getting into my Seattle poll. Shout out Easy Street Records, the greatest record store in the country. Biasly, of course, but it's true.
Mm.
That new Billie Eilish track. But see, you might even be seeing it. It's
Ooh,
reflecting because it's that special. We got a splatter edition vinyl
okay.
right here.
You going to
Hey man,
blind me with
you
that
already know me.
reflection.
You already know me. I'll be smelling them. Hey, because it smells nice. Okay, shout out Billie Eilish has my birthday. So this is twin right here.
That's
Okay,
right.
so I respect Billie. I like the flow on that. This this was a find. I ain't never seen this one around before. Most of y'all probably don't know what this
Ooh.
is. This is I think you pronounce it Blast, but it's BLXST. Great R&B
Hmm.
guy coming out of Southern California. I'll always come find you. This was the top album of 2024 for me. I respect it. I think y'all should give it a listen. The best part about this guy, though, which I find funny, do we got the logo on the back? Yes, he is signed to the record label that Red Bull put together. So this is Red Bull Records, which I think is just hilarious. My boy really just out here sipping. So, I didn't
That
know Red Bull had a record label, but you can find Blast on it. He'll put you on Blast, man.
that is iconic. The Red Bull fan cam is a
Isn't that
big fan
something?
of that one right there.
The Red Bull, the Red Bull fan cam is a huge fan of the Red Bull Records. Hey, look at Red Bull Records. I hope can we add people on these videos? I don't know.
Yeah, why
If you need a
not?
podcast, I got one for you. Okay,
Hmm.
It's called Interlude Media. Spell it right, NTRLD_media. You can find it, and we're trying to get that sponsorship deal. So shout out Red Bull. This is the fan cam. Bam, and I'm back to it right here. That new this is JID. JID just released an album. You got to give him a shout out. But this, I can never find this anywhere. DiCaprio 2. This was that
Hmm.
hosted tape by DJ Drama. Not even much more to say about it. This is an Atlanta classic right there. You heard it. Oh, this, I don't know if y'all know Leon Thomas, man. This will get your girl going, and this will get you going. This is that nice new R&B. This boy's got a flow. This is his first real album. This is the deluxe version. You can see that
Mm.
this dog ain't really like a turkey. It's trying to bite your head off right here. Crazy color
Yeah,
wave. But this the song Mutt, and this is the name of the album Mutt. Check out Mutt. That song really be getting him going. I think this guy's next up. I think his next album's gonna be crazy. So check that out. And finally, yeah, we're gonna close it off right, man. Shout out New Orleans. This is that Weezy
mm.
got that hustler music. Weezy got some hustler music. Now ride to it, yo.
So good.
Okay. I've never seen it anywhere else, but I know they're starting to repress the Carters on vinyl. So this was a must cop. You already know what it is. I'm flying in and
Absolutely has
flying
to
out like
be.
the intro and the outro on that album. But that's the spin section for me, man. That's that. I've been listening to those this week. That's what I got rolling. That's a big haul. My suitcase was heavy, but I did what I had to do.
Listen, those are some fantastic pulls. Next time we're chilling, we got to get something spinning. Got to mix it up.
Right?
Keep everything fresh. We
The
love to
donut
see it.
shop, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta hold it.
Always.
It's a donut or a bagel, or it's a zero.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
You
So
already know.
that's how we doing it. That's how we doing it. Okay, that's what I'm listening to. T, you got anything to add? You got a little something?
Yeah, I mean, you're the one that's really keeping things spinning over there. You got the turntable, you got that record player, you keeping that audio going. I'm more so on that flip side of things. We keep turning pages over here. I'm big in the books. You said you're copping about a record a week. I might be on a book a week at this point. The collection is growing and it's growing fast. I would say over the course of the year so far, year to date 2025, the amount of books in this apartment has at least more than tripled. And so we are
Hey,
growing at a very
two
fast
two
rate.
questions. How
Sure.
fast are you reading them? And two,
Uh-huh.
do you have enough space for these, or do you have to buy some new bookshelves? You know what I'm saying?
Those are two great questions. And so I will tell you that I am not reading them as fast as I am acquiring them, but I am reading a hell of a lot more than I have in recent memory. I
Respect.
going back to my adolescence, growing up all through middle school, high school, I was that kid. I hated reading. Getting summer reading
Yeah.
assignments, it sucked. English class, you know, I can speak. I can handle myself when it comes to writing. Okay. I have my
I
English
can
down pretty
speak is
well.
crazy.
I mean, I'm a native English speaker. Okay. So I learn the language as best as I can. But when it came to like academic featured literature, it just was not my
That's
favorite subject. I did not do well with it. And it left a sour taste in my mouth. I think that's the case for a lot of people, unfortunately, that the way that books are presented through school
yeah.
maybe just isn't it for them. A lot of it's probably because
Problem.
it's the classic literature. Now, don't get me wrong, I got a bunch of classics
Right.
sitting right in front of me here. So I guess this kind of gets to your second question of how much space do I have. The good news is I think I've got enough space for now. I would say I could probably still double the amount of books I have just on the core shelves that I'm already keeping them on. Right now, I've got a lot of knickknacks
Okay.
mixed in
Then
just to, keep
then
the
it's, you
visual
got to get more.
interest. Exactly.
Right.
I
Need
appreciate
more.
you. I appreciate you supporting the addiction, the growing collection, if you will. Like I said, I got some
Hey,
knickknacks on those shelves
look,
right now. I've got my college and my master's degree diplomas over there. Those might have to get kicked out to make space for more books, but that's all right. We're
you
good with
don't need a
that.
diploma.
No, it's just a
I
piece of
never got a
paper.
diploma. I literally never
That's
got one.
that's still so wild that never
Hope
got mailed
everyone
to you.
knows that.
Well, they do
Yeah.
now.
That's how much they believed in me, man. It's okay.
You're proving them
I'm
wrong with
here
that
now.
new job. That's right.
I'm here now.
But
It's
anyway,
okay.
so
Well, back
back
to it. What are we reading right now? What's in
back to what
rotation?
we flip back to what we flip in. So the most recent book that I just finished up is called The Art Thief. Now, some people may be familiar. It hit top charts on New York Times bestseller list, written by a man named Michael Finkel. And what I loved about this
Run
book,
that
so
back. Finkel,
Finkel, that's right.
rhyming with tinkle.
Uh-huh. That's a good way to put it.
That's a crazy name. Surprised you
Well,
rolled with that.
I will say, I wouldn't say he's a crazy writer, but he is a very poetic writer. All right. So
So kind of fits.
yeah,
Finkel fits.
this is
Okay.
it's a nonfiction book. This is true story here, but it's written in a narrative fashion. And with that, like I said, it's written very poetically. There's some very, very nice
Right.
lines in there that keep you coming back to it. And I think that's part of what made me
Finkel
enjoy it
got
so much.
bars.
He do, because I'm a fan of nonfiction. I read a lot of it, and it could be,
Right.
a book I read earlier this year was all about like the growth of the coffee industry here in the United States. Like that one was like it was a history
Yeah.
lesson in 500 pages right there. This book was about 250 pages, and I flew through it in a matter of like 4 days. I was just cruising through that thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this goes out to everybody right now in high school who's struggling in English class. This man's your inspiration. He just finished a book in 4 days called The Art Thief by Mr. Finkel. You
That's
heard it
right.
here first. That respect, man. That's next level.
Dude, I mean, when you find something that interests you like this, it's easy to keep reaching back and grabbing that book. So
Yes.
this one was about Stefan Breitweiser, one of the most prolific art thieves in history. At the time of his being caught and conviction, his collection was worth an estimated $2 billion, stealing from museums and
Right.
churches all across Europe in broad daylight. One of the craziest stories I've ever heard. Highly recommend the book if anyone has read it yet. Very easy read, like I said, but very, very intriguing, very enticing.
There's something with the names. What was his name?
Stefan
Hype Brenner?
Stefan Breitweiser.
Bro. Stephon Brightvisor. And they
Uh-huh.
didn't realize the dude was stealing?
He was the most unassuming art thief you ever would have suspected. Very normal, average
Brightvisor?
looking. The only part about him that was bright were his bright blue eyes, supposedly. But, dude, he walked in, paid for his ticket in cash, walked around, saw something he liked, just threw it under his jacket and walked out the door. You know? He made it seem so effortless. I mean, how else do you acquire $2 billion worth of medieval artwork?
Yeah, no, that's
Both
crazy.
oil paintings, brass sculptures, ivory, silver, so everything. Whatever he thought caught his eye.
Are you suggesting this could be our next creative endeavor?
No, I would definitely not recommend, mass stealing. Grand theft is generally an ill-advised way of making a living. That's the other thing. He wasn't trying to make a living off of it. It's not like he was stealing to resell. He stole them and then kept them in his apartment for his own admiration, like just so he could stare at them. Like he loved art so much. And this is one of those poetic lines, the way it was described is that he viewed museums as a prison for art because they were just subjected to being locked into these cases. And so he wanted to liberate them. It was just a very, very interesting story.
That's how I feel about myself in corporate America.
Well, that is partly why we are here on Interlude, and that's why
Stephon Brightvisor still alive? I'm trying to get taken out.
He is still alive. He served his probation and then proceeded to steal again and went back to prison, and so he's kind of bounced in and out. But that book, another reason why I'm a fan of that book, from my research on the subject, there have been a few books written about his heists and his collection. This book is firstly unbiased. It's told in a very objective way, and it's the most recent one that's come out. Like I said, it's written in a post-COVID world, so any of the books that came out previously were closer to his conviction, and they were very, they were either very pro what he was doing or very against what he was doing. And this one just kind of tells the facts, tells it in. Yeah. So that's the first book that I've been flipping lately. Once I finish that one up.
What I don't get though is why is he stealing, man? He could just go listen to the Carter 2. You don't even have to steal that, man. You know?
All you need for that is either a record player or a Spotify subscription, and you're good to go.
I think Brightvisor, we should have a talk with him.
But those are two different types of art there, Nick. They're two different types of art.
I understand, but there's a visual component to everything.
There is, sure.
Damn.
I hear you.
That's a crazy book right there.
Highly recommend.
Check that out.
Gets a 5 out of 5. Borrow the copy if you need. Definitely a good book right there. That's what we've been flipping lately. I reached into a new one after that. I'm chugging along through it. It's the start of football season. I myself, for those who don't know, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I know that's a very polarizing subject for a lot of people. You either love them or you hate them. Right. I get it. That's the city of Philadelphia. That's the lifestyle that we roll with. And if you want to hate me for it, no skin off my back. I don't really care, dude. So on that subject, again, for those who don't know.
Tell me why the Eagles are them, Todd. Why are the Eagles them, man?
I'm not even talking about the current Philadelphia Eagles, even though they are the reigning Super Bowl champions who just lifted the banner in front of their rival Dallas Cowboys and squeaked out a win during week 1. Man. That's true.
That was last year.
That is last year.
Yeah, you're talking about week 1. What's going on this year? Why do we got to watch out? What's good with the Eagles?
Because Jalen Hurts is still just continues to be an underrated quarterback. They don't want to talk about him being a top 5 QB, but he knows how to win, dude.
Yeah, we gotta. Maybe this episode is gonna be titled "The Name Pod" or something. Because what a great last name for a football player, Hurts.
Oh man,
damn. And the fact that he was destined to play ball.
He really was, and the fact that he got the Jordan sponsorship and they put out that "Love Hurts" ad, bro. The city of brotherly love, but love hurts.
I didn't see that. Yeah, that's good.
You got to check that one out, man.
Nike always finds a way to do something.
They know what they're doing. Yeah, no doubt. So, even though
Okay.
I am rooting for today's 2025 Philadelphia Eagles, this book, Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Phillies, we're going back to the late 70s, early 80s here with The Secret Apartment. So this is a memoir, kind of a self-published type of thing. Not a big book. I wouldn't expect really anybody to have heard of this unless you are a Philadelphia sports fan. But this man right here, Tom Garvey, man is a Vietnam veteran, comes back, certainly had post-traumatic stress disorder before that was really a diagnosable thing, so he's just trying to find a way to make a living. He's working the parking lots outside of the old Veterans Stadium down in Philadelphia Sports Complex, South Philly. And my man's takes an unattended marquee stand, okay, and converts it into a secret apartment. And he lives out of the stadium for 2 whole years. Nobody knew he was there. Nobody in management knew he was there. But he
This
had
seems like
friends.
Kanye West, but they didn't know. Remember when
Sure.
Kanye just lived in the Atlanta stadium and just built Donda? Which I also don't understand.
Yeah, but that's definitely a different situation because they were hooking him up for that. In this situation, like I said, late 70s, early 80s, he was working the parking lots, and so he had a key to the stadium.
Yes.
But otherwise, he
No one
was
gave a
just
shit at that point in time.
It was a different time for sure. The world was a
Right.
very, very different place. But overall, just super interesting. There were plenty of players that he got tight with.
This is crazy.
He had Tug McGraw come into his apartment. He was, rubbing elbows with Julius Erving, Dr. J. It was just hell of a story. I think I'm about 3/4 of the way through this book right here. I started it a couple days ago too, so we really are. We're turning pages, and once I get to the end of this one, hopefully on our next recording, I'll have, some of my favorite stories to share from this because this is the type of shit that you can't get away with anymore. So to think that once upon a time someone could secretly live out of an NFL Major League Baseball stadium simultaneously, it's just kind of unfathomable in today's age.
Definitely. Unless you're Kanye West and you're paying whatever amount of money that costs.
Yeah, but
That's where my mind goes. Is how much should that apartment cost? How much would it cost to live inside of an NFL stadium?
We talking in today's world?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't know what rent to charge 40 years ago, but.
Oh no, no. Yeah.
I would think just the sheer fact, the stadiums that are getting put up nowadays, like the Buffalo Bills are moving into a new stadium next year right across the parking lot from their current one. Construction costs are upwards of $2 billion for building that new stadium. So you got to think about, they're going to be getting ticket revenue, not only from football games, but whatever other shows that they might sell out, soccer games, who knows what's going to show up there. You got the parking fees, you got the food and beverage markups that they charge in stadiums. So they're making money in all these different ways. And obviously these owners in the Bills situation, it's the Pagulas, and the Eagles, it's Jeffrey Lurie. They got the money.
Give me the breakdown.
I'm just saying they got the money to make it work, but if you could rent out, the closest thing we got is what ballpark
Just
is
can't
it?
be a comfortable living space.
No, it certainly wasn't. You're living underneath, right off of the concourse. You're living underneath the slope of the 300 sections of the stadium. So, you walk in through your front door, you got a 12-foot ceiling, but as you get closer to your back wall, you've got a 4-foot wall. Your
windows.
Your ceiling is like this. Yeah, it's true. You got no windows.
This seems like the Harry Potter arrangement.
You think he's living under the stairs?
He's not doing spells and shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wasn't sent there by his uncle. He did this voluntarily, but
right. Shout out Harry Potter, man. Hopefully,
shout out J.K. Rowling. Good stuff right there.
Harry Potter's got to be 40 now. Wasn't that in the late 90s he existed in his fictitious world?
It's a good question.
Wouldn't he be 40?
Well,
okay, so if he was a teenager in the 90s, do you think he was just listening to Biggie and Tupac?
Yeah,
they
but
never really mentioned that.
No, but that's also No, I feel like it would have been probably if he was listening in England in the 90s. I feel like he was probably still like on a Beatles trip. I feel like that's what he would listen to.
And maybe, man. The streets.
Yeah,
Shout out the streets.
Abbey Road, man.
Maybe he was listening to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Original pirate material, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they don't really they don't really talk about that. They don't really talk about the music game. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even know like any musical magician. They weren't really playing music like that in Hogwarts.
No, they
Maybe
were
they could just all sing and we just had to like accept that.
maybe.
But that's where my mind goes.
I mean, I think they had
That's besides the point.
in some cases they had bigger issues that they needed to worry about than the
Right,
music.
right.
I mean, the walls
Now,
kind
but
of
wouldn't you
sang to
think
you.
like if you on your broomstick and you chasing like that boy Baltimore and he's got like no nose, which I still didn't understand, and I've always wanted his nose because I have so many nose problems. I'm like, damn, if you just had slits, like your deviated septum's gone, which would be sick. But point, if I was chasing somebody like that on a broomstick, man, like when I had like for example, Future like March Madness playing, you would bet your hell I'm hitting that Expelliarmus, right? Like that, I'm not missing that shot. But like if I don't, and I have like and hey, Beatles one of the greatest bands of all time, but like Hey Jude's not really getting me in the moment to go
Mm-hmm.
pow. What do they
Yep.
say? Spin wrong, bam.
Yeah.
Or
No,
Cardim Leviosa, Expecto
it's.
Patronum. Yeah, I'm not listening to Beatles to an Expecto Patronum.
I
Right?
hear you.
I need some of that. I need some of that gritty. You know, where is that at?
I think we're just gonna have to, interlude's gonna have to grow, and at some point we're gonna have J.K. Rowling on the show. And I think we just gotta ask
Right.
her. Go straight
All
to the
right.
source.
That's a good vision. I like that. Hey, nothing's ever left unturned, man. Every idea
No,
is possible.
that's
And
right.
folks, that's what leads us truly into our next section, man. That'll be an inspiration for me if we got the lead writer of Harry Potter up on the podcast to chop it up. That's maybe more aspirational goal. But I want to leave y'all before we tune out here today
Mm-hmm.
with just some inspiration. Where we've been struggling to post our latest pods. There's been issues with the system, this and that, right? We're not been able to record, audio's going away, visuals, you name it. Any problem that you can think of, we've had. I'm currently on my phone, and I haven't loved it. But here's the thing: I figured out a little something with the phone. I can't. Oh, I'm already blocking myself. See, now I got to figure it out. But I can change the background.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do it right now? Todd, I might not even be able to do it on the call, man.
Oh, you can't do it during the recording.
I don't know if I can. Well, folks,
That's all right. You can
there it
still
is.
lead us out.
That
You
was
can
my
list.
that was my inspiration of the week. I was gonna show you a good background. But here's the thing: it doesn't matter what's in your background. It matters where you're going. You feel me? Wherever you
Mm-hmm.
were, doesn't matter who you are today. So keep on
Mm-hmm.
stepping and keep on achieving. And whatever the curveball's thrown at you, you gotta either take that because it's maybe a little low, or you better hold your hands back and pull through and send that out into the outfield right now because let's go Mets and the Phillies suck. You feel me? But that's the
Hey.
deal, folks, is that you got to put your head down and keep going. And so that's why we're here. And we thank you. This is concluding of episode 2. You already know this is another episode of the Interlude Pod. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Nick D. That boy's Todd. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show half as much as we enjoy recording it for you. Because,
Because we had a ball, and only real ideas are
damn
going to
right.
last. All the little bullshit, it's here today and gone tomorrow.
Without further ado, we'll see you next time. Good night, Connecticut.
Good night, New York.